say welcome to my sewing room, but as you can see, we are not in my sewing room. We're in my friend Gail's sewing room. And the reason why I come over here today is because she has a Luminaire. And you all know I have a Stellaire, and I love my Stellaire. It's a wonderful Brother sewing. Mine's actually an embroidery only machine, but it does a lot of things, but it doesn't have a camera where we can scan. And I know some of you have been wondering about using the camera and the scanning. So she is working on a quilt that she saw on YouTube that has books. It looks like a bookcase. It's really cute. And I'm hoping that by the time she finishes it up, we'll be able to show you exactly what it looks like all finished. But we've been struggling to try and put the letters exactly where the books are, and I told her, I said, you know what, that is so easy on your machine. You can do it very, very easily with the scanner and line up your letters. So I want to show you how easy that is to do. If you have a Stellaire, we can do the same thing. We just have to use the app. If you don't know how to use your app, go back. Last year in my videos, there's one that actually says using the Brother Snap app to scan, and watch that, and you'll know how to scan and bring it in, and then we can bring the letters in exactly the same way with your Stellaire as we do on the Luminaire. So we are going to move the camera and on the screen of the Luminaire, and then I'm going to show you how easy this is to do. Okay, so this is our quilt, and these are our books, and we want to put the titles of the books on each one of these rows, so you definitely want it to be centered and you don't want it to be crooked. So this is where the scanner comes in really good. And we have already put the name of the book right here, and we're going to add more to it so you can actually see how it works. The first thing we need to do is we need to scan. So in order to scan, we need to push the camera button right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push that button, and the machine is going to say scan, and we're going to hit scan, and it's warning us that it's going to move. So then we're going to say okay, and we're going to let that whole hoop move so that it can take a picture of what we have in the hoop. So we went ahead and we scanned this, and you can see the books on here exactly where we want to put the lettering, and here's my lettering. So what's wrong with this picture? The lettering is black, and we're going to eventually do this in gold. So I might as well change the color right now so I can see where they line up on the books. So I'm going to hit my color button here, and then I'm going to select the first letter, and then I'm going to tell it to select all, and then change it to yellow, and you'll see that that just changed to yellow. So now I need to scroll down, and we are going to select, this has a little dash in it, and I'm going to select the color and change it to yellow. So that just changed, and now the whole word warriors, I'm going to hit the top one and make sure it says select all, and then we're going to change the color on that. So now that's a whole lot easier for us to see what we're doing here. And we can go back and size it after we move it. So what I'm going to say is okay to get out of the color part. And then I'm going to move this over and edit and rotate 90 degrees. So now, because I can see where I'm going, I can see if it fits. And that obviously is going to be, what are you pointing at?
The warrior should be at the top of the book, not at the bottom.
Oh, okay. So we'll put it over here. And then the name of the book
needs to flip around.
Okay. Like that.
Yeah, going down.
Oh, I see. Okay. So then we're going to say okay, and we're going to size it, and we're going to go just a little bit smaller. We can go back after I move the other words and see if it fits. That size just a little bit smaller than I wanted it, but that's okay. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to tap this one so the red box appears around it, and then we're going to say okay, rotate, and then let's move this one up here. We're going to get it as close as we possibly can. We're going to put the red box around that one and rotate it and move it up here. And I'm going to try this pen to see if it'll
not turn on.
See if we can move this little guy. I heard it beep. I'm going to use the move button. Sometimes the move button just works better than any other option. So we're going to move this and then down and get it centered. And then we're going to reselect this and hit size and bring it out just a little bit. See, if you hold it too long, sometimes it just keeps on sizing. So tap it and let go. How's that? Does that look pretty good?
The Warriors probably needs to be a little bit smaller. That's a number 1, the number of the book. So it needs to have a little bit of space on each side of it as if it's a different word.
Okay, so if we hit edit and size, we could go, well, if I hold,
that looks better.
okay. And then one of the really good things that you can do is you can hit this little hoop here and hit the plus sign, and that helps you see a little bit more if that's exactly where you want it to be, or if you need to move it up or down or anything like that. We can come back and fiddle with it some more until we get it right before we actually push go, but you get the idea how that works. So I want to do the second book, and this is a series of books. They all have the word warriors in them. So the first thing I can do is I can select warriors, and I can hit the duplicate button. And then I know that that's going to be exactly the same size as the last one without having to worry about whether they look funny. And then I can type in, by pushing add, the next title that I want to put in there. So did we use
that one?
This one? Mm-hmm. And what is it called?
2. You need the number 2 first.
Oh, the number. Oh, is that what that little number?
Yes,
I
one.
thought it was a squiggly. Nope. Okay, so we're going to go here and we're going to put the number 2 and set that down. And let's go into edit. That's going to be the last thing in there. 2 yellow. Okay. Size. And we're going to turn it sideways.
No, don't turn it.
Well, you have the one turn.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Rotate. And then this one, because we're moving it so far, I'm going to... Maybe, yeah, move it up here.
And move it down just.
Darn buttons, they don't do exactly what you want them to do. Okay, we're going to leave that there for now. And then we're going to just push add. We're going to go in here, pick these letters again, and then we're going to write
Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice. So let's just immediately go into medium so that we don't have to size it too much, and we can change it afterwards. And then we'll put some lowercase, space, again, we're going to go into edit and change the color, and we have to scroll down to the bottom like this until we get to that one I just added, which is right here. They always default to black. I don't know why, but that's just the way it's going to do it. And then we'll change it all, select all, and the whole thing should turn yellow. And then we can just, after I say okay, and get out of that. Oh yeah, rotate it. We need to go around. so that they're all going the same direction. And then we're obviously going to have to size that a little bit. So edit, size. And one of the things you can do with your letters, if you really want this to pretty much stay the same, push them in. And it's confusing because sometimes if you say push in right here, it starts to push in the other way because we rotated it. So let's see what it does. Oh, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. Sometimes I got to push it the other way and it doesn't do what I want it to do. So, and then I can put this one here. So you can see it's pretty easy. It's just a little bit of time consuming. But when I finish doing this, every single one of these words are going to be right on the book. And I push go to embroider and it's going to embroider exactly where I want it to. It really makes it a whole lot easier than trying to embroider on each piece and then sew it together afterwards. Okay, so I'm back. I'm actually back in my sewing room now on my Stillaire sewing machine. And the reason why I've come back is I wanted to show you a tip that I didn't think about showing you before when we were doing all that lettering and trying to line it up on my friend Gail's books. And that is, if you have to do several lines of something and you want them all to be the same, sometimes there's an easier way to do it. So I've written my name up here. And I could push add and go into the lettering here and find that lettering that I used, which is this one here, and then go ahead and type another name in there. I'm just going to put my daughter's name in here. So let's just do and set that down. And now you can see that that's not the right size. So I'm going to have to go into the edit and I'm going to have to hit size and kind of hit that a couple of times until it looks, see, it's still not the right size. So maybe make it a little bigger. And I got to mess with it like we were doing before when we were trying to put the titles of those books on there, that we wanted them all to look the same. So I had forgotten, and it just occurred to me obviously overnight when I was sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning, that there is an easier way to do it. So I want to show you. So I'm going to take Rosemary here and I'm going to duplicate it. So now I've got 2 of them, exactly the same font and exactly the same size. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my font edit tool and I'm going to delete. It won't let me delete it all, but now I can write the word Molly. And then I could move this over until I get to the R, and I can hit delete. So now I've recreated Molly, and it is exactly the same size as the first one, Rosemary. So that makes it really easy if you're going to do something like books or titles or name tags or anything where you want to continually do the same thing over and over again. That's going to be a whole lot easier way to do it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed those fun tips that I was trying to show you about how to scan and bring an image into your screen to make things a little bit more even. The snowman is great, and so is the ability to project. We did try and project on this fabric, and we discovered that it's so dark that it just didn't show up. So being able to see it on the screen made it a whole lot easier for my friend Gail to finish her book quilt. We still haven't sewn it together, and I'm hoping to get a good picture of it that we can put on when we show some of the other things a little bit later on in the new year. But I did want you to see that she did embroider out all of these book titles on here. She's going to do some more book titles in the quilt, but I think it came out really good, and it looks really even and centered on each book, so it kind of gives it more of a realistic feel of a real bookcase. So I hope you learned something. I run into people all the time who don't really quite know how to use their scanner, and it is a really great feature of those sewing machines. So I hope you had a good time, you learned something new, and you enjoyed doing what we were doing and maybe making a little field trip over to my friend Gail's house. And next time we get together, I'm going to show you a little bit about how to put together some pajamas. We're making pajamas in my family. We're going to take a big picture of all of us together wearing the same pajamas. And so I'll put a picture at the end of that with all the pajamas I've made. I'm not kidding you. I probably made about 12 or 13 of them already. So hopefully you'll have fun watching that, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.